MPC meeting will conclude on Friday, and when it comes to MPC meeting's outcome, now the much awaited rate cut might happen in this meeting of around 25 basis point. And it's not just us, around 72% of the economists believe that RBI will go ahead with the rate cut. And there are several reasons why they believe that rate cuts may happen. The first is India's GDP growth. So when we look at the trajectory of India's GDP growth, for the last 2 quarters, the GDP growth has been slower than what the street was expecting. In fact, in the last quarter, which was Q2, the growth came at around 5.4% versus what it was estimated at 6.5%. So earlier, RBI was focusing more on inflation, but in this meeting, they believe that RBI may focus more on bringing back the growth, and that is the reason why they believe rate cuts will happen. Second is the system liquidity. Now, when we look at this number, system liquidity is at a deficit of around 3.1 trillion rupees. And when we look at RBI, we have already seen RBI taking strict actions to bring back some of the liquidity. We have already seen RBI doing some of the activities like OMO, VRR to infuse around 1.5 trillion rupees in liquidity. We have also seen RBI cutting their CRR rates in the last meeting by 50 basis points. Now, although CRR rates are back to where it was earlier, there are no expectation that CRR rates may get cut from here on. But apart from that, RBI seems to be back in action when it comes to liquidity, and that is the reason why rate cuts may happen. Third is inflation. When we look at this number, it was actually higher than expected. In fact, food inflation was something which was stressing it out. But when we look at core inflation, it was well below the 4% mark where RBI wants inflation to remain for India. Lastly, when we look at food inflation, now brokerages believe that from here on, inflation will ease off. In fact, brokerage like BOFA believes that in the month of January, we may see inflation reaching around 4.4% level, which is much lower than what we have seen earlier. And we have also seen government actually pushing the consumption. In fact, in this budget, they have been very clear about consumption push, and this is something which is also pushing the expectations around RBI's rate cut. When we look at RBI's another expectation and any of the projections, we have already seen RBI has cut down their growth estimations and also increased their inflation estimations in the last meeting. So we're not expecting any kind of changes there. But at the same time, any kind of commentary on the global macro events and any kind of commentary on the from newly appointed Governor, Mr. Sanjay Malhotra, is going to be a key thing to watch out for. But when it comes to rate cut, now street is expecting some kind of rate cut around 25 basis point in this meeting.